On Osrc 7, Dawn advocates more commitment to education for national development. President Tinubu charges foreign envoys to maximize trade expansion. FG moves to end malnutrition, inaugurates working committee. And from the foreign scene, Kuwait names successor as Emir Sheikh Nawaf dies at 86. Thanks for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Sahid Arubisala. Any nation that refuses to prioritize building knowledge will find it difficult to develop. Professor Shola Akinrinade, who spoke at the 10th University of Medical Sciences Founders Week in Odo, declared that investment in education has a longer-term impact. Omorola Wiji report has as its theme knowledge, governance, and sustainable development in Nigeria. The missing gap. The report.
Data released as at 2021 on Nigeria education spending shows that out of 28 similar countries, Nigeria has the lowest education spending of 5.14% of the total budget, as against that of her counterpart, Honduras, which has 24.60%. Even Angola nation is spending 6.92%. The 5.14%, according to the research, is the least compared to the record since 2021 until the national budget presented for 2024 shows 7.9%. A professor of history of African international relations at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife, Shola Akinrinade, who is the guest lecturer at the ongoing Founders Week on the theme Knowledge, Governance and Sustainability Development in Nigeria, the missing gap, said this attitude is damaging research and innovation standard of the nation. According to him, knowledge is essential for development as it enables people to increase their productivity, enhance their well-being, and participate in the socio-economic and political processes of the societies.
If we are going to make progress, then there must be that synergy between the government and the universities, between the universities and the industry. We can't do without it. Except we are deceiving ourselves. You cannot despise knowledge and move forward. But over the years, what we have seen between the government and the universities is a general state of belligerence.
Chairman Founders Week Committee, Professor Olumide Ogundaunsi, while speaking on the event, explained that it is the tradition of the institution since inception to engage scholars on trending issues.
Our university has always been committed to fostering an environment of intellectual curiosity, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of excellence in scholarship and service. We all embrace this opportunity to expand our horizons and deepen our understanding of the dynamic landscape of health and development.
Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Adeshegun Fatuse, while expressing satisfaction on the success of the institution since establishment 9 years ago, promised its continuous efforts to remain a source of knowledge for the growth of society.
We have our own internal fund that we give to researchers on competitive basis, and these are given on the basis of, number one, it must be a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary research. It must be a research with potential for impact in our environment. It must also be technically sound so that it can contribute significantly to knowledge.
Scholars at the event also added their voices calling on Nigerian government to increase budgetary allocation to education.
It calls attention about what Nigeria as a nation needs to do to invest more in knowledge production, and that the universities, research institutes are very important factories for knowledge production, but that the nation have not been doing much, but we need to rise up and invest.
Lecture is the 10th in the series. Omoyo Lahungbiji, Osrc News.
President Bola Tinubu has congratulated former President Muhammadu Buhari on his 81st birthday. In a statement by Special Advisor Media and Publicity Ajuri Imbilani, President Tinubu described the former president as an icon of truth, justice, and patriotism. President Tinubu extolled the peerless leadership, credentials, and feats of the former president, recalling his meritorious service to the nation at various times as head of state and as president. Buhari, a retired Major General, was born on 17 December 1942. He was Nigeria's military head of state between December 31, 1983 and August 27, 1985. He was elected president in 2015 and was in office until May 29 this year, when he handed over power to President Tinubu after completing his 2 terms of 8 years. President Bola Tinubu has assured foreign investors of diligent and predictable fund repatriation and the streamlining of the tax system. The president received letters from High Commissioner of Rwanda, Christopher Bazivamo, and Ambassador of Ukraine, Ivan Kolostenko, at the State House. President Tinubu implored the ambassadors to prioritize the exploration of new frontiers of trade relations that will be mutually beneficial as they carry out their duties in the country. Tinubu received the High Commissioners said the long-standing concerns over trapped funds are receiving attention and that funds will be processed expeditiously for release. He also asked the Ambassador of Hungary to explore all opportunities of building partnership, especially in the areas of agriculture and food security, and how to leverage the experience of the country in technology. The President said Nigeria is already working on the issues of double taxation, and it will be properly streamlined to favor business growth. He added that Nigeria is home and heaven for investors. In a bid to address severe acute malnutrition in the country, Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated a high-powered nutrition core working committee. The critical body, dubbed the intellectual powerhouse by the Vice President, will spearhead the fight against hunger and malnutrition across Nigeria. Speaking during the inauguration of the Nutrition Core Working Committee at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Mr. Shettima emphasized the importance of coordination and collaboration with the National Committee on Food and Nutrition. The Vice President, who highlighted Nigeria's immense potential for prosperity, pledged unwavering support to the committee. Presidential aspirants of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in the lead-up to the 2023 presidential election have agreed to float a forum to mobilize support for President Bola Tinubu as part of measures to tackle the challenges confronting the nation. Convener and acting chairman of the forum, Senator Yarima, as well as APC's youngest presidential aspirant, Dr. Nicholas Felix, said this in a statement issued today in Abuja. The aspirants have fixed an end-of-year dinner for Monday at the Trust Club Hotel in Abuja, where the forum will be officially inaugurated. We're due to take a break on the news at 7. We'll be back with more stories. Please stay. Thank you for joining us on the news tonight. You can watch us live on our website, Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel, Osrc TV Ondo. Among the activities that attract children during Yuletide season is Christmas carols, where schools entertain their pupils to have a feel of Christmas like their counterparts across the globe. The story is the same as Vic Pat's International School in Iluabo, Akure North local government area of Ondo State, brought together its pupils to celebrate this year's Christmas carol. Omoro Language reports that Santa Claus was also present.
These little children were feeling the joy of the Lord this Yuletide season as they rolled out the drums to celebrate this year's Christmas carols. each of the classes that made up VicPact International has their presentation all centered on the birth of Jesus Christ. In his message on the love of Jesus Christ, officiating minister Victor Adetula educated the gathering on the reasons for the birth of Jesus Christ to save mankind.
I want the children to know that Jesus also came to make every one of them important. He laid his glory in heaven. He was born that no man may die anymore. He was born to raise all the children of the earth and to give them a second birth. He was raised as the seed of the woman.
Proprietress of the school, Lydia Abayomi, while expressing joy over the growth recorded in just 2 years, said the event is not only to dance and merry, but also to establish in the children's mind the birth and importance of Jesus Christ to the world.
I'm celebrating it because of the salvation of my soul. That's number one. Then these children too, for giving them to me to nurture for him. I want them to take home that as Jesus Christ is birth to the earth, he must be born in their life.
Guests pour encomium on the proprietress for bringing hope to the children in the area.
The fact that we have a woman who has the heart of Jesus, it means that children will not only grow up having the academic knowledge alone, they will have the knowledge of Christ. They will grow in the Lord and they will establish in Christ Jesus.
Gift items were presented to outstanding pupils for the first time 2023-2024 academic session. High points of the event was entertainment and presentation of gift items by Santa Claus, popularly known as Father Christmas. Omorio Lahungbiji, Osrc News.
The wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Ayawa-Pedolu, has intensified her campaign against gender-based violence in the state. This time, the campaign is in collaboration with the National Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Ondo State Chapter. This campaign was taken to the northern senatorial district of the state. Our correspondent, Olabanjo Okundowale, was there, and the report was presented from our studio.
The sensitization, which was targeted at the grassroots, took the team through our local government area and Akoko axis of the state for 2 consecutive days. Wife of Ondo State Governor, Chief Betty Ayawa-Pedolu, said the sensitization was to keep the people at the grassroots abreast of the violence against persons prohibition law. She said the VAP law provides a legal framework for the protection of all citizens, including the vulnerables. Represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Gender, Research and Documentation, Mrs. Temitope Daniel, the wife of the governor described the gesture as one of the ways to ensure every citizen in the state lives peacefully.
It is important for us to make them know that we already have the law existing in the state, and anyone found wanting in any of the vices we have mentioned, such a person will definitely be prosecuted. And this gesture is just for us to have a sane society. It's for us to all have that conducive environment so that we can, sleep with our 2 eyes closed. And it's just one of the giant strides of our excellency to bring peace, to everyone, to our children, to our women, to the men, and everyone in Ondo State.
The Executive Secretary for the Agency Against Violence, Mrs. Bolanle Afolabi, said the purpose of the meeting was to sensitize the traditional rulers and religious leaders on the VAP law that has been domesticated in the state.
We discovered that many of this set of people were not aware of the VAP law. So we have to bring them together to educate them on the content of the VAP law, the various offenses that are in the VAP law and their penalties. And this is to serve the purpose of reducing the incidence of gender-based violence and then sexual offenses in the states. And as they are aware today, I know that they are going to be our vanguard. They are going to disseminate the information they have received here to their various constituencies, their communities, their palaces, and the environments.
The chairperson, Nigeria Association of Women and Journalists, NAWOJ in Ondo State, Tolagbada Moshin, described the initiative as laudable and promised to disseminate the information to the grassroots.
We actually saw that this work is very good. We are actually saying that it is good to every individual. Since we are here to actually meet with the traditional rulers to sensitize them on the VAP law, because we realize that meeting with the traditional rulers, that means the information will go deep down into the community.
Other stakeholders appreciated the wife of the governor, Mrs. Anyanwu Akeredolu, for the initiative. The sensitization meeting will shift to Ondo South Central District next week.
Investing in widows' economic empowerment projects would set a direct path to eradication of poverty, gender equality, poverty eradication, and inclusive economic growth. Founder of Pure Religion International Ministries, Pastor Mrs. Florence Omolade, spoke in Accra during the annual empowerment of widows. Osrc reporter Zimo Ebieni covered the event as the report was presented from our studio.
There are thousands of widows left helpless in Nigeria. Most are living in extremely poor conditions, not knowing when their next meal will come for them and their kids. This was what informed the intervention of the Pure Religion International Ministries. Over 200 widows went home with food items and cash. The founder of the Pure Religion International Ministries, Pastor Florence Omolafe, said the gesture was to ameliorate sufferings of widows in society. Pastor Omolafe appealed to the widows to be prayerful as God will stand for them.
We must have the right expectation from the Lord. God is real. Jesus is real. Hold on to Him. Be persistent in your prayer. When you have expectation, you don't expect today, tomorrow for the answer, but you have expectation that Jesus will do it.
Chairman on the occasion, Pastor Dotun Okunuga, and the State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Adebumi Oshadahun, who was represented by Suleiman Christiana, urged the widows to always believe in God. Some of the beneficiaries thanked the founder, Pastor Omolafe, for remembering them. The widows danced and appreciated God for the privilege given to them.
The governments of Oyo and Ogun states have taken far-reaching decisions on security along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as on Monday, while another case of attack was reported on Thursday night on the Ibadan-Ijebu-Ode Road. Special Advisor on Security to the Oyo State Governor, Mr. Fatayo Osheni, who is a retired Commissioner of Police, confirmed that the Joint Technical Committee on Security for the two states decided to strengthen security on the expressway and other roads for the protection of the people. Osheni also confirmed that increased motorized patrol would start today on the identified roads, and noting that spots such as Ibafo and Mowe would witness increased security presence. The Senate has passed a resolution to amend the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. This decision during the ongoing 2023 budget defense and 2024 budget presentation and it reflects the Senate's and addressing concerns related to Nigeria's growth and the growing debt burden. The chairman of the Senate on Finance, Senator Muhammad Musa Sani, highlighted the crucial role of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission in monitoring fiscal policies and aligning them with the monetary policies. A statement by the ED Strategic Communications Directorate, Dede Anyanwu, emphasized the need to fortify the Commission and address issues related to human capital and debt challenges. Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Atahiru Jega, has called for constitutional reforms of the Nigerian Federation before 2027. He emphasized the need for restructuring through evidence-based reforms that concentrates powers and resources from the federal Gadao urged the Nigerian leaders to learn from the best practices model federations such as India, Canada, and the USA in the areas of revenue generation and sharing and adapted to our local context and circumstances. The former INEC boss said cost of governance of both the federal, state, and local chairs of governance needs to be drastically cut and measures introduced to entrench transparency, accountability, and effective anti-corruption oversight. ECOWAS Court of Justice has ordered the release of Niger's ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. Bazoum, his family and political allies have been held hostage by the military junta led by General Abdurrahmani Chiani since July 26. Statement as President of the Republic. Report has it that the deposed president is held hostage in his presidential residence and his wife and their son since he was overthrown. The court ruling stated that their constitutional rights will have been violated and that Bazoum is the only one who represents the state of Niger. One of Bazoum's lawyers, Said Diagne, said the court has convicted military authorities for violating the principles of the Constitution of ECOWAS with their coup d'etat, insisting that it is now the responsibility of ECOWAS and its member states to ensure that this court's decision is effectively applied. And in Israel now, Israel says it's seeking a diplomatic resolution to ensure safety in the country's north, with another war as a possible option. But reports.
Israel is increasing the pressure on the battlefield as it looks for a settlement with the armed group Hezbollah that would allow residents to return to towns and villages in the north of the country. The defense minister, Yoav Gallant, is calling for a safe zone on Lebanon's side of the border, and international efforts are reportedly looking into the possible deployment of French troops.
Of them are trying to find a diplomatic solution that includes international force not belongs to the UN, because Israel doesn't believe anymore with the UN, with UNIFIL or UN forces, but international force with the ability to hold back Hezbollah.
It is a similar proposal to the one put forward by Israel during its last war. locally instead of an enlarged UN force was deployed, but with no mandate to forcibly create a border zone free of weapons and fighters outside the state control. Tamitri was Lebanon's foreign minister at the time.
Every morning you have some Israeli official threatening to either invade, destroy, implement Resolution 1701 by force or get it under Chapter 7. And I think most of that is unrealistic. But in the meantime, there are other diplomatic, semi-diplomatic initiatives, you might want to call them.
During his last visit to Lebanon, U.S. mediator Amos Hinn raised the issue of land border delimitation as a way to end the conflict, but Hezbollah says it won't negotiate as long
live independently and face threats. And for us, there are issues that can be discussed, but there are issues that are not up for discussion.
Israel is threatening to escalate, but a full-blown war won't guarantee Hezbollah will stay away from the border.
The Kuwaiti authorities have announced the demise of the Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Khalifa Al-Ahmed Al-Jabbar Al-Sabah. A statement by the Minister of his Emirate called Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah Al-Sabah said the Emir passed away this morning at age 86. Authorities gave no cause of death but announced the start of a 40-day official mourning period and a 3-day closure of government departments. A statement from Isa Al-Khandai, the Deputy Al-Sabah, who is 83 years old, has been named the new Emir. And in sports, the Confederation of African Football said it has received media accreditation applications for the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations. CAF on its official website said the applications are 90% more than those received for Cameroon in 2021. It said priority will be given to the host nation at 30%, participating countries at 35%, regional countries at 10%, and the rest of the world will get 25%. It added that priority would also be given to agencies. The 2023 AFCON will kick off from January 13, 2024 to February 11 in Côte d'Ivoire with 24 nations. Akinrade has said any nation that refuses to prioritize building knowledge will find it difficult to develop. He spoke at the 10th University of Medical Sciences Founders Week held in Ondo. Also told you that the President Bola Tinubu has assured foreign investors of diligent and predictable fund repatriation, as well as the streamlining of the tax system in the country. We informed you that as part of efforts to address severe acute malnutrition in the country, Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated a high-powered nutrition co-working committee. And this body is dubbed the Intellectual Powerhouse, which will spearhead the fight against hunger and malnutrition across Nigeria. We also told you from the foreign scene that the Kuwaiti authorities And that's the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.